Marketplace theology is the integration of faith with work in the world. It's making sense of our engagement in the marketplace, understanding its meaning, and practicing it in a righteous way. This session is really vital for getting into your work, or being motivated, or finding the energy to do what you need to do, and also being energized by what you do.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No I'm not giving up, no I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I
Motivated. But why am I motivated the way I am? This drawing, which is an obvious triangle, is what I use to help people discern their calling. At the very bottom of the triangle is motivation or passion. This is not given to you from outside. This is given to you by God when He made you. And then gifts and talents, which again are creationally given. I prefer not to say natural, but the word creation does invite the question, who gave it? And I have some gifts and talents, and you do too. And the next step up is personality. And in spite of what some people say, that when they became a Christian, they became a completely different person, I don't believe it for a moment. I think that becoming a Christian, experiencing new birth and new life, releases us from the paralysis of sin. But it doesn't make us into somebody totally different. The Apostle Paul, before he became a follower of Jesus, was an overcomer. He was always conquering. And after he became a Christian, he was remotivated, yes, but he was also an overcomer still. Then values. These are cherished ways of behaving. Providential circumstances come into our lives. how much education we've been able to get, circumstances of our physical deportment, sometimes disabilities we have, and then blocks and dysfunctionalities are ways in which we can sabotage our lives. And in my own case, I think I have a dysfunctionality that I'll talk about in a moment. And then direct leading of God. I put this at the top of the triangle. I think a lot of people of faith think this is all there is to discerning calling. But I think that God leads us and calls us through the whole triangle. So coming back to motivation and passion, my fundamental motivation is to design and build. I love designing and building. Don't ask me to maintain anything. And my wife, if she could speak now, would say, absolutely true. I love creating something new. So even as a little boy in our backyard in Montreal, I think I must have been 2.5, maybe 3 years old, I was designing and building a little playhouse here, hammers in my left hand, and I'm taking blocks of wood and creating a little house with walls and roof and a chimney. Then as a high school student, I designed and built a speedboat. I actually built this in the high school shop, and that's me as a teenager. And I've been designing and building all through my life. I designed educational programs. I've designed cabins and houses. But a second motivational factor is job fit, how you fit into the job itself. Here's where I want to outline some more factors that really come into this. Gifts and talents. I think my gifts and talents are in the area of organization and communication and implementing things. I can make things happen. My personality is that I'm perhaps a little what more introvert than extrovert, though I love people. But I do have a tendency to want to perform. That's my personality. I find my learning style is that instead of reading the instruction manual, I just turn the blessed thing on and try to figure out how it's going to work. And so in terms of the learning spiral of going from theory to practice to theory again and to practice, I enter the learning spiral in practice. Now, this also tells me I probably need to grow in the area of theory as well. And then values that I cherish ways of behaving, family and marriage and relationships and friendships. I really value completing work. I love really being able to finish a job. I know people that never finish a job, and they have no value for that. I treasure giftedness, and I treasure integrity. I treasure work, and I treasure rest. I treasure recreation, and I appreciate and treasure beauty. Providential circumstances in my life have been, we got married, and we had a baby 10 months after we got married. And so I didn't go on to do my PhD. I have no regrets for my life at all. But those were providential circumstances that affected the course of the direction in which I was going. But I mentioned that there are blocks and dysfunctionalities, and I think I have a need to be approved. I like being approved. And it's just so easy for me to go into a situation where I'm going to receive a lot of affirmation, and that might not be the best for me. And then in terms of direct leading from God, I can remember the day I was sitting in a library translating and working through Ephesians chapter 4, verses 11 and 12. The so-called clerical translation is that God gave pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, and then as though it's one more thing that the pastors are to do. job misfit situation. I'd like you to meet John Fluvog. He's a Canadian shoe designer, and his shoes are noted for their progressive Art Deco-inspired styles. They're designed in Vancouver, Canada, but made all over the world.
And the business forced me to find out who I was. It pushed me and forced me because I had to survive. The scripture says that without faith it's impossible to please God. So I think that being an entrepreneur is actually a little bit of an edge on that, because you need a little faith, right? You need a little faith you need faith, and you need to trust. Because there's no nets or no safety nets underneath you. And a lot of times as an entrepreneur you have borrowed money. There's other people that are responsible under you, that work for you or rely on you to feed their kids, and there's a fair amount of responsibility. So, you know, having faith, you need to have faith. And we make in business, we all make small, medium, and large decisions every day as to where and how things are going to go. So I think that it is just a wonderful place to find out who God made, because it just stretches you. Annoyingly so sometimes, right? So again, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about maybe a different perspective on entrepreneurship, on business. And I remember distinctly one day going to my then wife and saying, I need to find another source of income because this is killing me. I had 2 kids, I had a mortgage. I couldn't do it anymore. And on that exact day, I got a phone call from a friend of mine who said, I met this guy in California and he's here in Vancouver. I'm going to send him down to see you. It's okay. So in the door walks this Mexican-American guy with kind of long hair and blue jeans, and he comes into my store, comes to my office. I start telling him about what I do. He said, don't tell me, I don't want to know. He said, okay. He said, sit down here, I'm going to pray for you. So, okay. I'm a little skeptical because I'd been through sort of a charismatic thing with my folks, and I was like, okay, that's whatever, right? So he sits me down, and he has this vision, and the first thing he said to me, he said, John. Oh, he didn't say John because he didn't know my name. He said, hey, God doesn't want you to quit your business. So that kind of woke me up, right? I went, what? It's like it took me back, and then he started to tell me about what my business was like. So he said, your business has been like a good car, but you're on a really bad road. It's like bouncing all over the place. Oh, yeah. He goes in, and then he starts telling me about my life personally, about who I was, like reading my mail, right? And then he goes, oh, he says, I see shoes in different places, in different parts of the country, and these are weird shoes. And he's like seeing this like thing in his brain. He's like reading it. It was quite bizarre. And I go, okay, right? And then he says, oh, and your name's going to be quite influential. You got an influential name. Well, what's your name again? And that's what kind of got me, actually, when he said that to me. I went, okay, all right? Guy had no idea who I am. And he laid this on me. And I guess why I'm telling you that story was it was so encouraging to me. And so from there, I began to do my own shoes and start to do it. I call it a word of encouragement. And I think from time to time, we all need those, right? We all need to encourage others, and we need people to encourage us.